Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope you're having a great Tuesday morning. Had to think about that for a second, but it is Tuesday. Another beautiful day out there. Temperature in the low 70s, sunny. Rim Country. It's just a beautiful place to live. So hopefully you can get out there, enjoy the weather a little bit while it's nice like this. This morning, we're going to be talking about the school override in the studio to talk about this, what it is, what it means, the impact it would have to residents and also children in the community, our students. We have in the studio Joanne Conlin and Judy Perham. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in to talk about this. It's such an important topic. It's such an important decision. This is going to be on a special election ballot November 7th, so residents will be voting on this. Now, this is, because it's the school district, this is within the school district, not just Payson, but basically everywhere that is under the Payson Unified School District. Is that correct?
That is correct, Chris.
Okay, so can you, I know like Pine Strawberry, they're not in the Payson Unified School District. They have their own school up there, Pine Strawberry School. So this is residents in Payson, Tonto Basin down there? No?
Tonto Basin has their own district, so it pretty much goes to Tonto Basin, south to Tonto, and then it goes to Star Valley.
Okay.
I think Christopher Creek up to Mesa Dell.
Okay.
But it's any place where the school doesn't already have a school board.
Gotcha.
So
East Verde Estates,
Yeah.
Round Valley, Oxbow Estates, all the little communities outside of Payson. Okay. So can you, I guess, get right into it, the school override, what it is, and in voting to keep this tax or money, going to the school, what that entails, where it goes, and so on.
Okay. Well, the override, we've had this 10% maintenance and operation override since 2005.
Okay.
And we have not asked for an increase, and this will not increase your taxes. It is something that we have to go out every 7 years because overrides, it's a secondary tax and it sunsets. So the voters go out to say yes or no. And we're hoping everybody will say yes. This is a special election. Many people have already gotten their informational pamphlet. And please know it's a mail-in ballot.
Okay.
So don't expect to go to the polls on November 7th because there aren't any.
Gotcha.
And it's important, since it's mail-in, if you want to mail in, do it by November 1 because they do not recognize postmarks.
Okay.
So if your ballot isn't in by November 7th to the election group, it will not be counted.
Gotcha. So it isn't a case where as long as it's mailed before November 7th, then you're okay, but it has to be received by November 7th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Received by November 7th.
Just a quick question on that. Are you able to drop ballots off at different locations?
Yes,
Okay.
right at Gila County Courthouse here in Payson.
Okay.
They have a ballot drop.
Okay.
I think it's just parallel to the post office. So that way it gets directly there. You don't have to worry about it getting lost in the mail.
Okay, so that is good to know. Again, a ballot drop box is at the Gila County Courthouse.
Yes.
The building right there. All right.
So the override, we've had it since 2005. Many people don't even know it's been on their property tax bill. But it is a secondary tax bill, and it's only $53 per 100,000 of the limited assessed value. It is not based on fair market value. And I know a lot of people get confused on that. Your assessed value is much less than the fair market value. And people just started to get their property tax bills so they can see what that assessed value is, and then if you go over to the right of your bill, you can see what that secondary tax is. Really not a lot at all, not for what it does for the school. So the 10% for this coming year, what they're asking is $1.7 million. And it's a flat rate. The school submits to Gila County, once it's been approved at the state level, we need 1.7 million. Then Gila County calculates that out, and they take all of the assessed value for the school district, make a calculation, and then you get a portion of it. And Gila County only pays the school the 1.7 million. It's not a percentage, it's just a flat rate of the 1.7. So it works a little different. We talk about percentages here and there, but what you know is the school asks for 1.7, Gila County does a calculation to give them the 1.7.
Gotcha.
So that, I know, gets a little bit confusing. But what's important for the override is that if you vote yes, there's no change to you. There's no impact to you. Everything stays the same. But the impact to the school and the children is significant. So this override, 100% of it goes directly into classroom instruction. It's for 23 teachers' salaries and benefits. It maintains low ratios for classroom size. It provides K through 12 programs of band, choir, music, phys ed, and technology. It gives additional assistance for math, writing, and reading. It gives opportunities to students for advanced placement courses. And it also gives students opportunities for the dual credit enrollment that they have with Gila Community College. So that's all very exciting things, and it's just the opportunities that we can give our children with not just the core studies, but to give them a more enriched classroom experience. It's so important for them, and it makes them more interested in staying in school. These kind of programs help enhance children's reading and language skills, creativity, problem-solving skills. It helps with team-building skills, cognition, move, and it's just an early jump start for college readiness and beyond. So these kind of things are very, very important for children, and I know there was only 1 year since 2005 that we went out to vote and they said no. We went out the next year and the community realized that a no vote is the wrong vote. And so the community said yes, and they've been saying yes ever since then. But Judy is here, and she actually was impacted by the no vote. At that time, you were the phys ed teacher.
Correct, yes.
So Judy, why don't you tell us about the experience for you and for the children?
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Joanne and Chris, for inviting me. And obviously this is something that I feel very strongly about and very passionate about, is the students getting a well-rounded education and meeting the kids where their skill set is, where their passions are, where all of those outside things that, like you were saying, Joanne, that motivate the kids to stay in school, that get them excited about school, and they just become better learners, and the community benefits greatly from that. And so, yes, I was in the school district, a physical education teacher at Payson Elementary School, and we had heard of the override. And I think that one of the points we really want to emphasize is we don't want to just set those ballots aside and assume everybody else is going to vote yes. Of course, everybody knows that it's important to invest into the children's lives, so somebody else will do that. Oh, I forgot. And yeah, no, don't do that, because I feel like that was really one of the biggest obstacles that we ran into. was just a, kind of complacent, attitude of, well, of course this is so fantastic. We've seen what it's done for us. So of course everybody will vote yes. Well, I'm here to say, don't just assume that. Make sure you are getting that ballot in and getting it in on time. So, sorry, I had to emphasize that because I feel like that was kind of, one of the attitudes that was out there. So, yes, they had decided way ahead of time. They know what these funds are for. We have an amazing school district, and the work that goes into the finances and all that they have to keep up with the changes in the policies at the state and federal level is just amazing. And so they worked very hard to put out what this exactly was going to support. And when that no vote came through, we were told, well, we are now having to cut elementary physical education. We had to reduce other programs. We had to get bigger classroom sizes. It was quite the hit to our district. And they cut the PE program. We did everything we could to do in-services and try to make equipment available and different activities available. And the bottom line is our teachers work so very hard that it is just, it's not even feasible within the amount of time that they have to then say, well, now to make sure that our children get that enrichment, we also want you to teach a PE course and do some more music and do your own art and do your own this, that, and another, alongside having all of the demands that they must meet with the benchmarks and the different things that, they have proven that if you track something, it's going to get, anything that's monitored has a way of improving. And so I get that. And I did go into the classroom that year. I enjoyed teaching my second graders that year. But even as the physical education teacher with a degree with both the classroom certification and physical education, I found myself having, partway through the year, having to reduce the amount of time I was even taking the children in for their PE to determine that they would still get it twice a week, and we had to reduce it down to once a week because the demands were just so stringent, and they are. So yes, and what we saw was not only that the children missed physical education, that they missed that movement. It was just impacting several areas. Discipline, things that are routinely our specials, they will support and they emphasize the whole culture of the school. It's just layer upon layer of reinforcement of how these students learn. And all the studies since then about how active children learn better, their brains are more in tune and ready, that was impacted. And even problems at recess time because the kids were missing out on that socialization. And you mentioned, Joanne, the team building and so many things. It was very impactful that year. And
So it's interesting to me that it was voted down,
Correct.
The majority of voters did not vote for it that year. You alluded to apathy or just the assumption that, oh, it's going to pass, this is a no-brainer, we don't have to worry about it. Do you think that was the main reason it didn't pass that year?
Well, and I think that was definitely high up there. I also think that sometimes we have a problem here or there with a school district or a particular school, or there's a different policy maybe we don't personally agree on, and therefore we think, if they're not doing it exactly the way we think it should go, we're going to vote no because of being in disagreement with a particular policy or change that has happened. And sometimes it's just a lack of education.
Mhm.
Like, we may not have had control over that. This might have been a state policy or a federal policy, and or maybe they didn't like the category that the funding went into. And trust me, I understand that very, very strongly. And that's why, you know, we tried to also go out for different areas of funding, which I also is a passionate thing of mine, is to know that your school district is working hard. We're not just sitting back saying, hey, let's depend on this tax money. No, you have dynamic people in this district that go out and write grants, and they are just looking for all types of funding for their projects. So I think that's part of it as well, is that if the community, and let me tell you, we have a board that will listen. If you're dissatisfied with a policy, go and talk to them. They have an open policy. The district is amazing. So don't let certain things or aspects of education stop you from voting yes. So that would be my other.
I think that mentality is still prevalent today, where you see residents, parents that haven't agreed with a policy, like you said, or the way something was done or handled or whatever it is, and then they say, well, since this wasn't done this way, or I don't agree with this, I'm not going to support this, whether it's the override or maybe the district and, you know, supporting them in other ways. And it's kind of like throwing the baby out with the bathwater, where you're not going to agree with every decision that a board, whether it's the school board, town council, you know, the state level, that they maybe implement or that they decide, but to, you know, take it as far as, well, we're not going to, you know, support them at all, or we'll show them, and we won't vote for this, because then they'll have to change. They'll need to do things differently. They'll need to do things the way maybe I want it done. And that, ultimately, it just ends up hurting the students in this situation. I know we saw it, you know, the same mentality with a few people, and thankfully it was just a few. With the town, it's home rule, and every municipality, well, not everyone, but the majority vote every so often on home rule, and that has a huge impact on the town. Well, they said, oh, we'll show them, and, you know, vote no, and it'll show them and force them to do this and that. Ultimately, it would just hurt every resident in the town, and even people in surrounding communities that rely on, you know, the town so much. So I think this is similar to where if you are looking at this, or because I know there's people that will speak or will say, tell others reasons why not to vote for this. And those could be, I think, some of the examples that they're misinformed or unhappy with you know, decisions that have been made recently, in the past, whatever it is. But I think it's important for people to look at the big picture and also have accurate information and understand that it doesn't change your current property taxes at all. This will not increase them. It will just continue the funds to be provided by the county to the school district, correct?
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, and now this, again, November 7th is the special election of this year, and a yes vote maintains the current override. Also, 100% directly goes to the classroom, it stays in the classroom with salaries and benefits of 23 teaching positions, correct?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So just a reminder, when you get your ballot, vote yes and mail it back in or drop it off at the ballot box at Gila County Court. Do not wait until November 7th.
That is an important point. Yeah, it isn't based on the post date when it's mailed. It has to be received by November 7th.
Correct, yes.
So, yeah, do it early. Get it in the mail or drop it off early. Again, if you want to drop it off, there's a ballot box at the Gila County Courthouse. And yeah, it's, the funding, it's every bit of funding is so critical for the school district.
Yes.
To maintain what they have, but also if you want to add anything, or also I think of the maintenance, all of the ongoing expenses the school district has. And costs keep increasing.
Yes, they do, and it's just, and unfortunately, we don't get funded at the same cost of living rate that we're experiencing on a daily basis. So it is, people can ask, well, why do you need it? You've got so much and we're seeing increases in the budget. Well, when you look to see what the cost of living is overall, people have to be paid a fair wage, they have to be able to live, and we want them to be able to come to this wonderful community, and we want them to teach our children. So it is, we can't scare teachers away because we can't pay them, or we pay them too low. So it is important that we keep competitive as much as possible. And we do have a Facebook page, Payson Kids Count. I'm going to ask you to go out there and share it with all of your friends and neighbors and really get the word out. I know these days, it used to be people would read the newspaper, but now social media is big on learning what's going on. So please go to Payson Kids Count, share what's there, and encourage everyone to vote yes. It is important, and again, it's no change to you. There's no impact. The impact, and it's significant, is to the school district and to the children in this community. And that's what this override is about. So we're hoping all of you will vote yes, because it truly is about the children and making sure that they have a good education.
Now, you've spoken to a few groups already, or do you have more speaking engagements scheduled, different groups that you'll be talking to, Joanne?
I have one more group, and that's with the realtors.
Okay.
I think it's on October 11th. But then it's, we're just using social media now to try to get the word out. We decided not to go door to door. People are uncomfortable opening a door. You don't know who it is. So we thought best to do social media instead. And so please just get the word out. Talk to your friends. Communicate. This is a good thing. It only helps children, and that's all we want to do.
And I know just went to the Facebook page, Payson Kids Count. I wasn't sure if I had liked it or followed it, but I did. And then there's also a website, PaysonKidsCount.org as well, correct? Yeah, and let me click on it and see.
I don't think, is that?
No.
No,
Okay.
that's not us.
No.
We don't have a, I don't know what that website is.
Yeah, maybe it just automatically generated that. It might have just put that up there on the Facebook page. But you have the Facebook page here. And so, yeah, and there's other, people that you can talk to. Talk to different, if you don't have any kids in school, reach out to parents that have children in school, your neighbors, just different people that you can ask them about the impact that this has on them. And then, again, what else was I going to say? Yeah, November 7th. I think it's very important, because that people realize you have to get that ballot in before the 7th, because in other voting, examples, I think it is post date, isn't it? That's what they go by, but not with this.
Not with this. It's very specific. It must, they don't go by that postmark.
Yeah.
So they recommended that if you're going to mail it in, you mail it in by November 1,
Okay.
with the hope that it will be received. But if it gets lost in the mail, it's lost in the mail.
Gotcha. And the other thing, and that's what I wanted to discuss, is what I found, I've learned over the years, is it's very easy to be critical of an organization, whether it's the school district, the town, different nonprofits in town, until you get involved. And I think being involved, you get to see firsthand. And something you mentioned, Judy, is how much the staff, at the school district, how much they do, how much they care, and how hard they work. And that's what I've seen over the years, tremendous dedication and commitment by teachers and staff. I mean, everyone in the school district, I feel, really does a lot. They go above and beyond, and they have a big impact on the district and ultimately on the children that are, in the schools, in the various schools. And they really care, too. And I think that's why there's such a high level of commitment, is because they earnestly care about the children, their jobs, what they're doing, and they want to do as much as they can for the children. So again, if you hear stories or people tell you, "Oh, this is messed up and this is wrong and they've done this," see what those stories are based on. If people, how involved they are, if they just heard that from someone else, if it was passed down, if it was something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because we tend to kind of harbor, feelings or hold on to, the feelings or resentment maybe. So I would definitely, as with all things, try and educate yourself as much as you can. And if there's an opportunity to get involved, to get involved with the school district, volunteer, spend some time at the school, and I think you'll see firsthand, this situation.
Be part of the solution.
What?
There you
Wait, what? Not just complain. Part of the solution. Yeah. How are you helping? That's something every day that we're blessed with. What did you do to make it better for someone or for the community or for an organization? How did you have a positive impact? So that's the challenge to everyone listening and watching today. If the Facebook page is probably the best place to go for people that do want more information or to know about this. Do you want to give your number if somebody wanted to contact you, ask questions to you directly, Joanne?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's on every sign that we put up. My number is 928-970-0725. Please, if you have any questions, just call me. This is important, very important for the children. And for those of you who don't have children in the school, this is our community. And having good schools bring in a variety of people to just make this community better. And we hope to have these children, once they're educated, grow up, hopefully they'll come back. So it takes all of us to make this community the best place to live. And definitely our children are a part of that.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, from over the years, having students come onto the radio, come to the station to discuss the CTE programs that they're a part of, or the sports programs that they participate in. There are quite a few of our young people, of our students, that work in the community, to where if they weren't working in the community, there would be some businesses that would not be open, that would there wouldn't be people to work. So our young people are a very critical and important part of our community, even like right now. as young people. So the more we can do to support them, to encourage them, because you have to look at, I would think high school students, and even maybe middle school students, they're not maybe paying close attention to, votes or politics or this, but it does send a message to our young people if we don't support them in this way and funding is taken away from them, and programs, teachers, and just the situation made worse. I don't think anyone, that doesn't vote for this could say, yes, I support our young people. But why would you not vote for this then? Because it is going to negatively impact them. So it's just, I don't know, seems pretty basic to me. Like you said, I think it's easy for people to say, oh yeah, of course this is going to happen, but you need to get out there, talk to people, especially if you have students, in the schools, or grandchildren. There's a lot that have grandchildren as well. So, well, thank you very much, Joanne, Judy, for coming on this morning and sharing. Thank you everyone for listening and watching. Big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our Community Spotlight program. It's time to get back to the music with the Beatles, Elton John, and Jesse Conlin Young. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
With this morning's KRIM weather forecast, we'll face it in the surrounding areas. Now, can't be well, story already.